Buenas tardes y bienvenidos de todos. Good afternoon and welcome. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to a community dedicated to providing spiritual tools for living a happy and full life. My name is Karina Shear, and I am the spiritual director and founding minister here at the Center for Spiritual Living Puerto Vallarta, where we have recently celebrated our third anniversary here in this beautiful community. And if you would like to become a member of our center, please let us know, as everyone is welcome. Today is Saturday, November 28th, and continuing our annual theme of 2020 Spiritual Vision, our topic for this month of November is living as compassionate conduits. And the topic for this week is the grateful and cheerful receiver. Each week, we open with a spiritual practice called affirmative prayer, also known as spiritual mind treatment. This is a powerful tool and a practical tool that shifts our consciousness so that we are open and available to accept the good that is already present in our life. It aligns our thoughts with all good. So let's move into today's service with intention, as we do each week, with a reading from the Creative Thought magazine. I'll be reading from November 26, 2014, and the spiritual mind treatment, as a reminder, is always done in the first person. So I invite you to close your eyes and take these words as your own, if you so choose. I give my all. The divine mind that created me out of itself is instantaneous and omnipresent in all its workings. I am one with its wisdom, order, and responsiveness. I am a perfect channel through which God, good, is expressed and maintained. As Spirit's willing vessel, I invite this awesome power to fill me with a greater realization of truth and to show me what I can bring to life today. I shine the light of spiritual understanding on any circumstance that needs to be transformed by the brilliance, beauty, and bounty of the divine givingness that offers itself to the world by means of me. My day unfolds joyfully. I seize every opportunity to serve and to share, to learn and to love. I give my all, and the universe automatically reciprocates by prospering every facet and relationship of my life. Recognizing that everyone is an instrument of God's grace, I gratefully accept the magnanimous blessings lavished on me through those with whom I work and play. Grateful for all sufficiency of source, I release my word to the law of mind, which unerringly ensures that nothing can ever be lacking in a world that already works for everyone. And so it is. And that was submitted by Reverend John Scott from Kingston, Jamaica. So as we do each week, let's review our purpose, vision, and mission statements together. Our purpose is to awaken and celebrate diversity and to love and serve our community. And this is supported through our vision, which is to educate and support each other so we can create the life we desire that works for us right now. And our mission is to provide spiritual tools for personal growth and transformation. And as we are a welcoming community, I welcome everyone. No matter what path you are on, know that you are blessed and a blessing. So welcome. Each week, we offer a service with an inspirational message. And normally, this is done at the downtown restaurant in Puerto Vallarta. But since we are still at medium risk and required to wear a mask while we're out and away from our home, I welcome you into my house. So, welcome. Su casa es mi casa. We look forward to once again supporting our local mom and pop style restaurant, where we'll have time for discussion afterwards and to enjoy some home style Mexican cooking. So hopefully this will be in the next month or even possibly 2 months. So updated information will be available on our website and our Facebook page, or also mentioned here each week. So if you have any questions or comments, you can either post them online wherever you are viewing this, or send me a direct email and I'll be sure to respond. Often, people refer to being a cheerful giver, but as we know from the law of circulation, giving and receiving is a reciprocal ebb and flow of yin and yang. When we accept, we are in the flow as God gives itself as each of its incarnating forms. In other words, when we give, we also receive. And a reminder that the universe is impersonal. It gives alike to everyone. It is no respecter of persons. It values each of us the same. Its nature is to impart, and ours is to receive. When we stand in the light, we cast a shadow across the pathway of our own experience. It is deeply embedded in our nature to know how to receive. It's one of our great and beautiful birthrights as living creatures. And yet, sometimes, for any number of reasons, we might not believe that we can receive our good, or we believe that our only value is in giving. But the reality is that we are in an ever-flowing cycle of giving and receiving, the law of reciprocity. It is the literal process of our breath. We take oxygen in and we give out carbon dioxide to be used by other living things that need it to survive and thrive. And they give us back the oxygen. We live in a synchronicity with the world around us. So let us accept this without protest. In The Science of Mind, in the definitive edition of Ernest Holmes, he reminds us of Emerson's quote. So let me just share this with you. Ralph Waldo Emerson said, "Let us take our bloated nothingness out of the way of the divine circuits." So let's look at this a little deeper with our 3 key points. Number 1, are you ready to receive? Number 2, being worthy of connection. And finally, number 3, what are we willing to welcome? So, are you ready to receive? Let's ponder a few thoughts with these questions. Where do we position ourselves in that ebb and flow of the universe? And have we positioned ourselves in a stance of interconnectivity? Are we standing in such a way that we are eclipsing the sunlight, the light, from reaching other living beings? And do we have our back turned to that same warmth? Or have we positioned ourselves in such a way that the sunshine washes over us and is still able to reach the other living creatures in the ecosystem? Have we put ourselves in a position to receive good and foster good being received by others? And just a reminder that how we do one thing is how we do everything. Emerson advised that we get our bloated nothingness out of the way of divine circuits. We are not bloated nothingness, yet there are aspects of the ego that certainly show up in a bloated nothingness suit and can cause us to turn our back towards the warmth that is available to us. We need only to pivot ourselves in the direction of that good. So, have we pivoted ourselves? Do we have arms wide open, ready to receive the sunlight, the moonlight, the intoxicating sound of rain falling, or calling, the sweep us off our feet love, empathy, and all the bounty the universe has to offer? So this brings us to our second question. Are we worthy of connection? I think an honest answer to the question, are you ready to receive, may be, for many, sometimes. Sometimes we're open to goodness, sometimes open to receive. Or perhaps the answer is that you live in a space of receptivity every single day. If so, that's wonderful. But it may also be that your answer is a resounding no. It may be that the wide arm receptive stance poses too many risks and provokes undesirable feelings. If that's your experience, you're not alone. Brene Brown, through years of data collecting, says that about 15 to 20% of people live in a full-hearted way, where we can easily both give and receive love, essentially where they are in the divine synchronistic flow. The findings suggested that what causes the ability to really receive as well as give is whether or not people believe they are lovable at a core truth. So the question is, do we believe we are irrefutably lovable and valuable, that we don't need any benchmark of success to prove it? When we can know and accept our value, we are more in touch with our feelings, both those labeled as positive and negative. And that helps us become both big-hearted receivers of good and givers of good. Here's another quote from the essential Ernest Holmes. He says, all mankind seek some relationship to the universal mind, the oversoul, or the eternal spirit, which we call God. And life reveals itself to whoever is receptive to it. So that brings us to our third point. What are we willing to welcome? How do we get there, though, to that place of wholeheartedness? And how do we align ourselves with flow in such a way that we both give and receive with joy? There are many paths to this. Some may be in a therapist's office or a recovery group, or through journaling, or perhaps in a conversation with a loved one. Or maybe the shift happens in the quiet over time. One thing is certain, though, that when we intentionally welcome into our lives that which we intentionally welcome into our lives can become and have a tremendous impact of how wide our heart's breadth can become and how available we can be to receive our goodness, to receive our life being breathed into us by the universe. Author Debbie Blue writes about how we're frequently taught in our societies that we should that we should welcome in benchmarks of power and strength, that we are taught that power and strength are completely different from vulnerability and tenderness. Fear can be a healthy emotion. If in balance, it keeps us safe. Yet, when we overprivilege it as an experience, a feeling, and guiding light, it comes at a cost. Blue writes, maybe we worship power, try our hardest to project strength and invulnerability because we are afraid of something we don't need to be afraid of, something we would do better to embrace, like the vulnerability at the core of our humanness. Perhaps being open to this is precisely what makes peace and love and cooperation possible. It is this openness to vulnerability that allows us to receive God. And because we just had the American Thanksgiving this past week, I want to point out that gratitude always multiplies our good. When we are grateful for what we have in our lives right now, it tells the universe that we are open to receive more and sets the wheels of creation in motion. Brene Brown says this: of all the thousands of people I've interviewed and studied over the years, looking for patterns in the data, only about 15 to 20% were folks living with their whole hearts, folks who were really all in when it came to their relationships. So she decided that she wanted to find out why. What qualities did these people have that made them so capable of both receiving and giving love? When she examined her research, she discovered that these were the people who deeply believed that they were worthy of love and belonging. These folks believed this regardless of the circumstances, unlike the majority of us that might think, okay, I'm worthy of love and belonging a little bit, but I'll be super worthy if I get promoted, or I'll be super worthy if I just lose 20 pounds. These folks believed that they were lovable and that they had a place in the world, and these beliefs translated into specific choices they made every day. They were aware. They recognized shame, and they knew how to deal with it. They recognized vulnerability, and they were willing to feel it rather than ignore and numb it. So in closing, when we can welcome in our own vulnerability and the vulnerability of others, we are well on our way to being grateful and cheerful receivers of goodness. Let's cultivate our tenderness and tune into God's rhythm. The ebb and flow of life is just waiting to flow in and through us. And here is our affirmation for today. I stand with my body and heart open to goodness, and I know that there is nothing that separates me from the river of life that flows through me as I give and I receive. So now is our time of mindful giving and financial support of our spiritual home. We rely on your support to continue our center here in Puerto Vallarta so that we can continue offering this powerful teaching of the science of mind. And we bless the financial gifts that you give today and every day. Every donation is greatly appreciated, whether it's $5 or $50 or $500, or even just the cost of a cup of coffee. So you can send any donations and they will be gratefully received through our PayPal on our website, which is www.cslpv.org. So if you go onto our landing page, you'll see a Donate Now button. Just click on that and you'll have your option through PayPal. Or if you would like to send a check, the address is available there on our website as well. So if you would like to join me now in our offertory affirmations, I know that my giving blesses and multiplies all that I am and all that I have and all that I give and receive. I do give eternal thanks for the abundance that is mine to share. So thank you for joining me here today. Know that you are loved and you are a blessing. If you would like to receive an application to become a member, or if you would like to be on our board of trustees, then please contact me. And also, if you would like to receive a private affirmation or spiritual mind treatment, then please contact me as well through the website. So again, namaste.